Good evening, good morning. This is a message to the Minister over Arts. It is also a message to the Irish taxpayer and to the members of Aosdana, to the Arts Council and to the members of the arts community in Ireland. I just want to go through what I consider to be, and it's only in my opinion, the most discriminatory, unfair, unjust, deluded organisation, not only within the arts, but actually within Irish society itself. This is the name of the society I'm on about. It's called Aosdana. I spent 3 years in the courts with them over 20 years ago, where they were found to be guilty of discrimination before the Arts Council bankrolled their appeal in the Labour Court, and I think the High Court, I could be wrong. And they made sure not to take any accountability for that. And there's many reasons for that. I'm calling for the government, for the Public Accounts Committee, for the journalists of Ireland who have ignored my emails over 25 years, and for Aosdana itself to take accountability and to admit that an organisation like this, that's based mainly on a British system, a classist system going back hundreds of years, needs to be disbanded. You can't apply, by the way, to get into this organisation. As far as I know, there's no person of colour in this organisation. Its primary function is to supply free money for life to its members, currently standing at 20,000 a year. That's its primary function. Now, they're meant to be an arts organisation that consists of members who have made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland. Now, in all fairness, some of them have made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland. In my own opinion, most of them have not. And it's only an opinion. We all know art is subjective. And there are many other people who have made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland, and will continue to make an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland. And they won't be able to apply because you can't make an application. You have to know, you have to be an insider to get in. That's the whole point of it. That's how the British royal family made up these type of systems, so that they could keep hold of the power. So, a little bit more in a minute. First, let's delve into the history of this amazing organisation. Right, firstly, here's a book that the Arts Council commissioned for Aosdana. Now, the Arts Council and Aosdana claim that they're completely separate. And this is a little game the arts community play. Why, I don't know. So they commissioned this great book called Beginnings, which goes through the history of Aosdana, in case anyone forgot about them. Most of it is Wallop. It's the type of publication you'd expect if you hired someone to do your biography. Write me a biography there, how great I am. That's what they did. Now, Aosdana didn't pay for it. The Arts Council paid for it. But I want to show you how separate they are. Just look at this video for a second. I just want to show you in a nutshell how separate and how independent Aosdana are from the Arts Council. So, I also need to go and collect an old book called Beginnings. Okay, so this is the Arts Council of Ireland, yeah? And down there is Aosdana. Hey guys! So, the separation is a load of bollocks. There is no separation. The Arts Council and Aosdana, same building, same people, same money, same privilege. Okay, as you can see, like most of the elitist groups that are getting money from the Arts Council, there's really no difference, in my opinion, between the Arts Council, Aosdana, the Abbey, the Druid. Basically, they're all kind of the same people. But Aosdana and the Arts Council actually moved in together, so they don't seem to have any shame about the fact that basically the Arts Council is meant to be policing Aosdana, but they're in the same building, and it's murky. It's murky. Who knows why they moved in together? Why, if they're so separate in the same building? Who knows? Anyway, they go on here. You can get the book. It's free. Beginnings Aosdana. It says how great they were, how they were founded, and it tells a great little story. But the reality, I'll cut to the chase. I think it was 1981. Charlie Haughey was spending money like it was going out of fashion. Obviously not his money, our money, while we were all basically starving. In 1981, I think we were still getting the soup in school. But Anthony Cronin was Charlie Haughey's cultural advisor, whatever that means. And they came up with the scheme, I presume together, or maybe Anthony was after a couple of pints, and he was like, listen, I'm a genius. And they came up with the scheme that's largely based on the House of Lords in Britain, to create a clique, a group of artists that have made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland. Now, it was very suitable that Anthony was one of the first members. So it's kind of like, who came first, the chicken or the egg? So Anthony founded it, so he must have been 100% sure, or someone must have told him anyway, that he had already made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland, so in you go. Anyway, that's how it was founded. That's basically it. They then convinced very good-hearted people, like Seamus Heaney, who I could see. I didn't know Seamus Heaney well, but I have met the man twice, and he came across like a very kind guy, so I can see how he would have been roped in to this organisation that from the very beginning was very much produced under the umbrella that it was an open organisation, and it's anything but. Oh yeah, they also got an ailing and frail Samuel Beckett to come home from France, and Samuel was known to be a great supporter of writers, and I could see how he was brought over to take part in the photo shoots. But as far as I'm concerned, I could be wrong, Charlie Haughey and Anthony founded Aosdana, and Anthony decided he was going to be one of the first members because he had already decided he made an outstanding contribution to the arts in Ireland, and that was it. And they went on from there. The first protocol is that they disallowed people under 30 to get in, and that's why I spent years in the courts with them, because that didn't seem fair to me, considering most of the great writers and many of the great pieces of literature and theatre that I love were written and produced by writers that were under 30. So that's the first mistake I think Anthony made, and he made a lot more apparently. So I didn't know the man personally. He didn't like me apparently. He very much didn't like me, but I don't take those things personal. Anyway, okay, so first of all, I don't believe that artists should have a right to get free money anyway. And I have seen from the Arts Council that most of the money that's supposedly going to artists is going to quangos, it's going to the same organisations every year, it's going to a lot of people who are privileged. In Aosdana, I know a few of the members, and I know of a lot of members. They don't seem too poor to me. Some of them are, I'm not stupid, but some of them seem to be pretty well off. A lot of them are getting other grants from the Arts Council. They seem to be doing pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, they seem to have kind of made a lifestyle out of getting free money from the taxpayer via the old pawn story that I'm a poor artist. Most of them seem to have a lot more money than myself. There's married couples in there. There's people who are getting a lot more money from, say, they have little publishing houses in there. There's a lot of stuff going on that I'm asking the minister just to look into. I'm also asking the public accounts to look into, especially since, and of course the revenue commissioners, because they only have to submit their financials every 5 years. Now obviously they came up with that rule because I can find no other organisation in the world who has to submit their financials every 5 years. They also mentioned the word means test in Aosdana. Now I'll try and simplify it. So they get 21,000 or 20,000 free at the moment, so they don't have to do anything for that. They're also allowed to earn another 30,000. So they can earn 30,000 and they'll still get their 20 grand. So for instance, in the case of the married couple that's in there, and I'm not picking on them, it's just a fact, I'm just explaining facts. So they'll get 20,000. So they start January the 1st with 40k before they even get out of bed. And I don't know any other section of society, carers, nurses, the sick, the elderly, the disabled, I don't know any other section of society who get that type of money, but I certainly don't know any other section of society who would expect that type of money from the Irish taxpayer, except Aosdana. So, Minister, can you look into how an organisation would anyone would expect to get that type of money? Okay, another point with Aosdana, and you're gonna discover this, Minister, the way I discovered it when I was bullied by members, when I was getting phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was a long time ago, when I was approached in a very friendly way on 2 different occasions by a member of Aosdana that wanted to go for coffee with me, just so I could drop the case, that there's really no need for it, and, that they don't hold it against me. I was told personally by a member of Aosdana, and I don't want to mince the words, that Anthony Cronin wanted to, I think, wring my neck, was the statement. But, basically he was very, very angry that anyone would have the audacity to question why writers under 30 could not and would not be getting into Aosdana. Now, I won that case, and it went through the judicial system and the Equality Tribunal, so this is not all just in my head. You can look up the case if you want. Now, they overturned the case, which is funny because every bit of literature that the Arts Council publishes these days has equality on it, since equality has become cool. But when it came to being found guilty in the Equality Tribunal, they bankrolled Aosdana with an unlimited supply of money, and 2 barristers and a couple of lawyers were paid for. It definitely cost 20-30 grand, so that they could keep hold of their legacy of not discriminating against people. Basically, they intimidated me, and they did it very systematically. And they overturned the case on the basis, listen to this, that discrimination laws do not apply to Aosdana. Think about that. That certain discrimination laws, that they are literally above the law. And that's no exaggeration. Read it if you want. So the Arts Council and Aosdana were good. I went away out foreign because Brian Friel and Seamus Heaney, funnily enough, and Brendan Kennelly suggested that I go into some darker theatre and that I get out of this country. So I was not without my friends, or my mentors, should I say. They weren't my friends. So I left, and I found relatively okay success since, especially in the last couple of years. And I will continue doing my thing. I'm not looking for money out of this or anything, but I'm asking the Minister, I'm asking the Public Accounts Committee, and I'm asking anyone else that wants to delve into this, what I consider to be a very secret organisation, to go through the membership and to find out how much money each is making, really, not how much money the Arts Council thinks they're making, because the Arts Council are not, you imagine the checks going on there. And just to ask ourselves the question why this archaic, medieval House of Lords type organisation still exists in Ireland today. There is nothing worse than an Irishman or woman or person that thinks that they're above another Irish person. And when they're part of an organisation where other members, other citizens of this country that are paying taxes have no right to be in because they can't apply, I want to ask you the question, Minister. Do you think that's fair? I want to ask the members of Aosdana, the organisation you're part of and you're getting free money from, not all of you, other people can't get into that organisation. And you think that's fair? Well, if you do, good luck to you.